so this hive, we've got a deep box on the bottom, and then we've got 2 medium boxes and above a queen excluder. So one thing about this bee yard is that we split it kind of late. It was split, you know, mid to late April, and we really wanted to make honey with these hives. And sometimes, you know, if you make a split or you buy a hive and it's, you know, late April, you know, the honey flow usually starts in mid-May. Sometimes the bees don't have enough time to, you know, draw out all the frames in their first box, draw out and fill all the frames in a second box, and then go on to make honey in a third box, which would be your super. You know, sometimes they just don't have that much energy, or they're not strong enough to fill up everything in their first year if it's a new split or a new hive. So what you can do is, if you just really want to make honey your first year, you can just have one deep box as your brood box, and then put a queen excluder above your single story box, and then everything above that can be your honey supers. And so that really kind of forces the bees to you know, turn that bottom single box completely into brood, and everything above that is where the honey is stored. And so even on a newer hive or a split, you can kind of guarantee that you're going to make honey your first year by just having your bottom deep box as your brood box, put a queen excluder, and everything above it is your honey super. Now the downside of that is they're going to have almost no honey stored in their first box down below because it's all brood. So you just have to be very aggressive about feeding. Once you pull off the honey supers on top, as soon as you pull off those honey supers and get them extracted, you've got to put one of these boxes back up on top of that single story hive without a queen excluder, and you've got to feed aggressively because you just took all the bees' honey. So, but if you really want to make honey in your first year, you can do that, which is what was done with most of these hives. So, I'm just going to illustrate it for you guys so you can see. But if you look down below, see, we've got our bottom deep box, and then we've got a queen excluder. We've got a queen excluder right here, and then both of these medium boxes are our honey supers. So really, we've just got a single story brood box. That's all we've got for the brood, a queen excluder, and then 2 honey supers. Now, I'm only doing that, or this is only being done in this bee yard because we really want to try to make honey this year. If you had more established hives, or if making honey isn't quite as big of a deal, then really you would have 2 boxes that are your brood boxes, and then you'd have your queen excluder right here, and everything above this is, you know, this would be your honey super. Again, but if you really want to make honey your first year, you can just have, you know, single story hive, queen excluder, everything above it is your honey supers. You just have to feed really aggressively after you pull honey.